Okay, so now let us start with today's class. I hope you can see the screen. Hare Krishna.
Yes,
everyone.
Prabhuji.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So let us start with the class. First, let's take the blessings of Shri Shri Radha Govinda, our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, and all the Vaishnava devotees by chanting the static prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshaya Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna everyone. Let us start with today's class. So today we are going to see with the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So far we have completed 17th chapter, and just like I said, whenever you submit like a project, what you do first you give the introduction, the cover page, that's the title slide, where you will be introducing about your project, who has prepared the project, and which date you did the project and everything. That will be the starting introduction. Then you will be preparing an index about what all things you are covering in the project, that particular project, or if you are making a presentation slide. Okay, then you will be then the main part will be the uh, explanation of each and every topic that you are covering in the presentation or project, and then at the end you will give the conclusion about all the topics in brief. So basically first chapter was that introduction part, which helped us to understand that what situation and what scenario did Arjuna face, that he asked, and what kind of questions was it, and what situation in which he took shelter of Lord Krishna. Then we see in the second chapter, Lord Krishna explains all the basic concepts. That is, he explains about the we being the soul, not the body. Then also talking about the karmas, then bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, and all the various aspects he has discussed. And then those topics are similarly covered in detail in the other chapters. Like third chapter was about karma yoga, how do we do how do we do our actions, and how do we overcome lust. Then fourth chapter we dealt with Jnana Yoga, about the history of Bhagavad Gita, uh, and then also how to do and how do we attain knowledge and all those things. Then fifth chapter was again about action in Krishna consciousness. Sixth chapter was about Dhyana Yoga, where we learned the various steps of meditation. But as we see that even Arjuna doesn't like this hectic process, and at the end Krishna concludes by saying the bhakti yogi is supreme most of all the yogis. Then seventh chapter was about knowledge of the absolute. Then eighth chapter was about uh, uh, about various questions asked by Arjuna. What is Adhyatma and all those, what is Brahman and various things. And we also talked about, how death affects the next life. And then ninth chapter being the most confidential chapter, many of the aspects of bhakti were discussed in that. Then 10th chapter was about the opulences of the Supreme Lord, and also the Tatur Shloki was described in that. Then we see 11th chapter Vishwarupa, where Lord Krishna shows the universal form. 12th chapter uh, was about Bhakti Yoga. Then let us come with the last section, which we are going, which quiz we will having will be held next week. So 13th chapter talks about who is the field, knower of field, and various other things. Then 14th chapter about the three modes of material nature, that is, sattva guna, rajoguna, tamoguna, basic introduction. 15th chapter talked about Purushottam Yoga, about the inverted banyan tree. We discussed all the aspects. What does each part of the banyan, inverted banyan tree represent. Then we saw, then in 16th chapter we discussed the divine and the demonic qualities. 17th chapter we discussed Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga, the divisions of faith, and how do we describe yagna and various other things in the three modes of material nature. And now we come up to the 18th chapter, the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which summarizes, which gives a conclusion to everything. So let us start with today's class. Okay. Arjuna uvacha sannyasasya mahabaho त्वत्वम् इच्छामि वेदितुं त्यागस्य च ऋषिकेश पृथक् केशिनि सूदन. Okay, some who would like to read the translation?
Prabhuji.
Yes.
Arjuna said, O mighty armed one, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation, tyaga, and of the renounced order.
Hey, my sister Manvika would like to join.
Life, sannyasa, O killer of Keshi demon, master of senses.
Okay, so now Arjuna is again asking the question, what the purpose of renunciation and the renounced order of life, and why he is calling the killer of Keshi demon is, the reason is that just like how you killed the Keshi demon, so please kill my confusion, kill my ignorance that I am having in my body, the master of senses. Shri Bhagavanuvacha kamyanam karmanam nyasam sannyasam kavayo viduhu sarva karma phalatyagam prahustyagam vichakshana. Someone please read.
The Supreme Lord said to give up the results of all activities is called renunciation, tyaga by the wise, and that state is called the renounced order of life, sannyasa by great learned men.
So renunciation is to give up the result of all activities. See, here specifically it's mentioned to give up the result of all activities, not to give up the activities itself. So what people think is that renunciation means, like how sannyasa, like how people, they leave their home, they leave their family, and just meditate, just keep on meditating. That's not the thing. Even in your household life, you can practice tyaga, that is renunciation, by giving up the result of all your activities. And that state of renounced order of life is called sannyasa. So sannyasa is not a stage, like, which can be attained only by the saintly people. It can be attained by even ordinary people. Okay. Yagnadana tapah karma natyajyam karyameva tad yagnodanam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam.
Prabhuji, I am reading.
Yes.
Acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up but should be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great souls. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes. So, what the impersonalists think by renunciation is giving up all types of activities. But here it's clearly mentioned acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given, but should be performed. It's your responsibility, it's a duty. And indeed, sacrifice and charity and penance purify even the great souls. So, therefore, it is not recommended to give up the activities, but rather give up the result of the activities. एतान्य अपि तु कर्माणि संगम त्यक्त्वा फलानि च कर्तव्यानिति मे पार्थ निश्चितं मतम उत्तमम्. Okay. Yes.
All these activities should be performed without any expectation of result. They should be performed as a matter of duty. O son of Martha, that is my final option.
Yes. So all activities should be done without any expectation of result, and they should performed as a matter of duty. So, therefore, just like how these two people are trying to save an animal, they are doing without any expectation of result, and they are doing as a part of their duty that we should save this animal's life. Okay. नियतस् नियतस्य तु संन्यासः कर्मणो नो कर्मणो नोपपद्यते मोहात् तस्य परित्यागस् तामसः परिकीर्तितः.
Prabhuji,
Yes. Read.
anyone who gives up, anyone who gives up as prescribed duties as troublesome or out of fear of bodily discomfort is said to have renounced in the mood of passion. Such action never leads to the elevation of renunciation. Hare Krishna
So
Prabhu.
basically, here Krishna will be describing the even renunciation in three modes. So here he is saying that if you are doing suppose our duty is our prescribed duty is to uh, our prescribed duty is to study, but just because we don't like a particular subject and we don't like to study that, uh, uh, we don't study that subject at all. So that is considered to be renunciation in the mode of passion. So see, renunciation is in the mode of goodness is if the reason is duty, if you are doing prescribed duties as a part of your duty, that's mode of goodness. If you are doing prescribed duties as not doing prescribed duties because of the difficulty and the fear involved in it, that is considered to be renunciation in mode of passion. And if you are doing prescribed duty, not doing prescribed duties because you are completely illusioned, that is considered to be in mode of ignorance. So the right method is to do prescribed duties, but to not. We should not have any expectation of results. Symptoms of proper renunciation: one who is in the mode of goodness, neither hateful or inauspicious nor attached to auspicious work, which means one has no doubt about work. One does not hate anyone or anything that troubles his body, works in proper place at proper time without fearing the troublesome effects. That's considered to be symptoms of proper renunciation in the mode of goodness. So as we explained in the previous sloka, for one who is not renounced, threefold fruits of action, desirable, undesirable, and mixed, accrue after death. But those who are in renounced order life uh, have no such results to suffer or enjoy. So, so, those who are expecting the results, they have this, they are in this duality, that will I get the desirable result or will I get the opposite result, like that. They are in that duality that uh, I hope I get the desirable. But those who are not having any expectations, they do not have anything to suffer or enjoy while doing their prescribed duties. Okay. So now let us understand what are the factors of doing any action. Okay. Okay. Please, please read this sloka.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
O mighty and Arjuna, learn from me of five bring about the of all action. Either dictate philosophy, place of action, the performer, the princess, the favor, the ultimately, and
That's super soul. Okay. So the five factors are first is the place of action. Where are you performing the action? Okay. Then who is the performer? Who is the one who is going to perform the action at the place of the action? Then the senses, the various senses that are engaged in doing the particular work. The endeavor, that is the efforts that you apply during while doing that work. And ultimately the super soul, because it's upon the super soul. He is the one who is overseeing all the actions, and he is the one who is sanctioning everything. In fact, without the permission of the super soul, I myself can't speak, and I can't even move my hand. Though we think that everything is under our control, but nothing can be done without the sanction of the super soul. So these are the five factors. Okay, the soul or the person means the performer, then the endeavor or efforts, the senses which are engaged, instruments of action, place of action, that could be either your own body or any other place, and ultimately the super soul, and because everything depends on his will. So religious or right actions are the ones which are done in prescription of the scriptural direction, while really wrong actions are those which are done against the scriptural injunctions. Okay. नतद अस्ति पृथिवीयां च दिवि दिवि देवेषु वा पुनः सत्वं प्रकृति जैर्मुक्तं यद एभि स्यात्रिभिर्गुणैः. Okay, so someone please read.
Prabhuji, I am reading. There is no being existing either here among or among the demigods in the higher planetary systems, which is freed from these three modes born of material nature. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
So basically, there is no person in this entire material world except the very extreme pure devotees who are not under the control of the three modes of material nature. Okay, not even in the upper planetary systems. स्वे स्वे कर्माणि अभिरातः संसिद्धिं लाभते नरः स्वकर्म निरता सिद्धिं यथा विन्दति तच्छृणु. Someone
Prabhuji,
please read.
by following his qualities of work, every man can become perfect. Now, please hear from me how this can be done. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Okay. यथा प्रवृत्ति भूतानं येन सर्वमिदं ततं स्वकर्मणा तब अभ्यार्च्य सिद्धिं विन्दति मानव.
Prabhuji,
Yes, continue.
by worshipping the Lord, who is the source of all being and who is all pervading, man can, in the performance of his own duty, attain perfection.
So how do you attain perfection while doing your prescribed duties? Because while you are performing the action, please remember the Lord and try to do it as a service to the Lord. Like how you can do is that whatever result you get, you can offer it to the Supreme Lord. Therefore, that's how you attain perfection while doing actions. That is by worship of the Supreme Lord and doing everything as a part of a service to the Supreme Lord. श्रेयान् स्वधर्म विगुणा परधर्मात् स्वनुष्ठितात् स्वभावनियतं कर्म कुर्वन्नाप्नोति किल्बिषम्.
Prabhuji,
Yes, please read.
it is better to engage in one's own occupation, even though one may perform it imperfectly, than to accept another's occupation and perform it perfectly. Prescribed duties according to one's nature are never affected by sinful reactions. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Okay. So if you see this same shloka, I'll share the screen, okay? Just give me 1 minute, okay? This same shloka, just a minute. Yeah. I hope you can see this. A similar shloka was recited by Lord Krishna in the 3rd chapter, 35th verse, where he says that it is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties, even though faultily, than doing others' duties perfectly. Distraction in course of performing one's own duty uh, is better than engaging in another's duty, for following another path is dangerous. So, nowadays, there's a very popular saying where they say, where people say, mind your own business. Okay. So indirectly, it has come from our Bhagavad Gita only, because what is this indirectly saying? That it's better to engage in one's own occupation, even though imperfectly, than to accept another's occupation and perform it perfectly. So, prescribed duty should be done according to one's own nature and never affected by sinful reaction. So it's like, see, you cannot keep one, for suppose there are various different animals, okay, and you keep one, like suppose let us say you want to say that uh, among all these animals, the one who climbs the tree first, one who is first to climb the tree is best among all the animals. Okay. Now see, first of all, you can see the case of a dog. Okay, a dog can climb, but it will be kind of difficult for it. Then what about this, turtle or penguin? Uh, it will be difficult for it to even, walk to the walk to the tree. Now talking about the fish, it can't even come out of the water. Then about the elephant, it's so huge and heavy that it can't climb the tree. But only monkey is the proper person which can actually climb the tree. Okay. So therefore, it's not just because of this one criteria you cannot say that monkey is greatest among all animals. Okay. So therefore, that's what our society is doing today also. They are saying that the one who gets best marks is the best student, okay, in the class. But that's not how it works, because some people might be intelligent enough in studies, but others might be good in sports, others might be good in extracurricular things. They might be having some other talent like singing, dancing, or uh, or even chanting shlokas like Bhagavad Gita shlokas, performing religious activities. So every person has its own unique talent. Therefore, therefore the society should not keep only one barrier, that just because a person is good in this particular occupation, therefore he is best. Okay, no, not like that. Everybody is best in their own unique way. Therefore, it's better to perform your prescribed duties perfectly, okay, and to engage in your own occupation, and prescribed duties should be done according to your own nature. Okay. From karma yoga to jnana yoga. Asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vigata spriha naishkarmya siddhim paramam sanyasena adhigacchati. One who is self-controlled, is completely unattached, can engage in jnana yoga. One can attain highest perfect stage of freedom from reaction. Now, who can engage in jnana yoga? The one who is self-controlled and completely unattached. So, first step is controlling yourself. You have to attain self control, and you have to be unattached to the results of the activities, and that is how one can attain highest perfect stage of perfection, of freedom from reaction. Okay, now let us understand this. Bhaktya mam vijanati yavanyas यश्चास्मि तत्वतः ततो मां तत्वतो ज्ञात्वा विशते तद अनंतरम. what is the eligibility to understand the truth? Okay, absolute truth. That is the Supreme Lord. How do you know Krishna? That is by pure devotional service under the guidance of a pure devotee. Without devotional service, absolute truth is always hidden. And what is the eligibility to enter Lord's abode? One who is fully conversant with the science of Lord Krishna. Okay, so the only way to know Krishna is by attaining pure devotional service under the guidance of a pure devotee. Okay, and the eligibility to enter into Lord's abode is by performing devotional service and understanding about the science of Lord Krishna. Okay, so only by bhaktya mama vijanati, only by the process of bhakti yoga can one attain the Supreme Lord. Okay, so just like, see, we have whenever we have to go to uh, any amusement park or any fair, okay, play fair, uh, we need a ticket. We need to buy a ticket, and we have to show the ticket to the person, who is regulating the crowd, like who is the security or the person who is, regulating in the entrance. We have to show them the ticket, and that's how we can enter the thing, whether it's cinema or anything. Okay, similarly, we need a ticket for even entering. We need a ticket of bhakti to enter the abode of Lord Krishna. So therefore, how do we attain the ticket? Uh, by performing devotional service. Sarvakarmanya sada kurvano mad vyapashaya mad prasadad avapnoti shashvatam padam avyayam. I personally protect my devotees from all reactions and led him directly to my supreme abode. Though engaged in all kinds of activities, my pure devotee is always engaged under my protection, and he reaches the eternal approach by my grace. Okay, so therefore, now Krishna is talking about the nature of his devotees, that uh, how he gives full protection to his devotees. Like, in fact, it was told that, I'm not sure about the exact number. I think it was 13 or 14 times that this Prahlad Maharaj was tried to kill. Was there were, I think, 13 to 14 attempts. It could be more also. I'm not sure. Attempts to kill him. Okay, which his own father Hiranyakashipu did on him. But since he's a devotee of Lord Krishna, he could escape all the time. And we see the last time when he tries to kill him. That time we see Lord comes to protect his devotee Prahlad Maharaj in the form of Lord Narsimha Dev, and then he protects Prahlad Maharaj by killing his own father Hiranyakashipu. Okay, so therefore there is always Lord's protection for his dear devotees. Okay, and what is the nature and the quality of service? There is no time limitation for a pure devotee, and a devotee is always 24 hours engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord. Significance of now, see, what does this mean is the protection of the Supreme Lord. And how does the protection come? When a pure devotee acts under the direction of the Supreme Lord or his representative. Now, what does representative mean? The spiritual master is considered to be the representative of Lord Krishna, because the Guru is the one who guides us to Krishna. In fact, in some cases, according to the Shastras, the Guru is considered even greater than the Supreme Lord. Why? Because, see, Guru is the one who advises you to chant the holy name. Means the one who gives the holy name is greater than the holy name. So therefore, if we, of course, the holy name is greatest. But if we look into few shastras, according to the when we go into the deeper meaning, we understand that the person who gives the holy name is even greater than the holy name. So therefore, sometimes in some of the shastras, the representative of the Lord Krishna, that's why Guru is considered to be the representative of Lord Krishna. Okay. Now let us understand devotee's mode of dependence. Chetasa sarva karmani mayi sannyasa matpara buddhi yogam upashritya madchitta satatam bhava. Someone please read this.
Prabhuji, I am reading. Devotee's mode of dependence. In all activities, just depend upon me. Work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
So that's what this means, that you have to be dependent, completely dependent on Supreme Lord. And once you become dependent on the Supreme Lord, you will become independent of the material nature. And work are always under the protection and the guidance of the Supreme Lord. In such devotional service, you will be fully conscious of Lord Krishna. You will be completely Krishna consciousness. And especially Srila Prabhupada said that it's very, fortunate that we souls are born in the land of India, because in fact what Srila Prabhupada says, that anyone who is born or anyone who comes to India is already 50% Krishna conscious, because uh, that's how auspicious is the land of India. Therefore, uh, uh, we should be very grateful and thankful that we are born in the country of India, where spirituality is where spirituality is, it is the hub of spirituality. But unfortunately, these days we see that uh, since we are, the new trends are making us go towards the Western culture, which is the modern culture or the Western culture. But we see that our spiritual culture is 10 times more better than the Western culture. In fact, there are many devotees from Europe, uh, in various European countries. They are trying to learn about Krishna consciousness, and once they get to know about Krishna consciousness, they themselves admit that the culture of India, that is Krishna consciousness culture, is 100 times better than the culture they follow in Europe. Because we see, in their culture, uh, doing sinful activities very common, like, like in some of the European countries, consuming alcohol, smoking and all is considered to be extreme, is considered to be very normal, partying late nights and all. But we see in our country, though that is happening because of the Western influence, but it's not that much as in European culture, because we see that, along with that, we are preserving our culture only, because somewhere or the other we are seeing that, somewhere or the others we are seeing that there are temples, and those temples are uh, uh, talking about the glories of the Supreme Lord. And that's how we see that, even though, the Mughal Empire, the all the Arab, Mughal Empire, British Empire, we have been under influence for like more than 1,000 years, but still, we see that our culture is still preserved. Otherwise, we see that most of the countries within 50 years of rule, they become, they their culture becomes part of it. Like, if we see many of the countries, uh, they were before, they followed their own they followed their own culture, but due to the influence of the British or the other countries, they got they adopted their culture and they forgot about their own culture. So similarly, but we see in the case of India, even after 1,000 years of rule, we see that uh, more than 1,000 years of rule, we see that we are still preserving our culture, our Indian culture. Therefore, that shows how strong and how powerful is the culture of Krishna culture, how powerful is the Indian culture. Therefore, we should be proud of it, and we should also follow it, and also encourage others to follow it, those who are trying to come under the influence of Western culture. Okay. Now let us go to the next shloka. Matchitta sarva durgani mat prasadat tarishyasi atha chetvam ahankaran nashosyasi vinakshasi. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over the obstacles of condition of life by my grace. Okay. So now, what do you understand by this particular picture? It's like it's basically an analogy which explains that there is a whole ocean of knee signs. Okay, let us say, like if you have seen seas or something, there will be land on one side, and if you cross over the sea, there will be land on the other side also. So we see that uh, uh, if you want to go to the other side, it will be very difficult because uh, uh, nowadays we have ships, but otherwise the only option is to swim across the sea. Okay, but if the sea is very huge, very large, then it is very very difficult to cross over the ocean. Okay, so similarly we have the material in the material world, we have ocean of nescience or ignorance, and we are stuck in this ocean of ignorance, but we want to go to the other side, that is to the towards the spiritual world. But once we take to Krishna consciousness, the entire ocean of nescience, the entire ocean gets absorbed in the area which is as small as calf's hoof print. Means that much small area, the entire ocean gets absorbed as soon as we surrender unto Lord Krishna, and then we can easily reach to the other side, that is the spiritual world. So we can easily cross over the ocean of nescience. Uh, uh, we can easily cross over the ocean of material world and reach to the spiritual world if we surrender ourselves to Lord Krishna. Okay, now let us see. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hrideshe jurnatishthati brahmayam sarva bhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. Someone please read the shloka. I mean the translation.
Repeat your meaning. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. Hare Krishna Prabhu Ji.
Hare Krishna. So they are comparing man as a machine, because just like how machine works automatically, we see various processes in our body works automatically. But that is, and we see it's all because of the presence of super soul. Uh, so super soul is situated in every heart and is directing all the wanderings of the living entity who is seated as a machine made of the material energy. Okay. So, because see, many of the processes that are happening inside our body is not in our control. Let us say the beating of pump, heart pumping the blood throughout the entire body. Are we controlling? No. Then digestion of food, are we controlling it? No. How every many of the life processes we see, breathing, and how the oxygen reaches to the blood and all the parts of the body, Are we controlling it? No, it's happening on its own. So therefore, we see that it is. That's why Lord Krishna is here comparing man as a machine, the human body as a machine, and super soul is situated in every heart, which is directing the machine. Okay. Now let us go to the next slide. Tam eva sharanam gaccha sarvabhavena bharata tatprasadadma param shantim sthanam prapsyasi shashvatam.
Prabhuji, I am reading.
Yes.
O Bharata, surrender unto him utterly. By his grace you will attain and eternal abode.
Okay. So let us understand that by surrendering unto the Lord Krishna, can attain transcendental peace, the supreme and the eternal abode. So in this picture, you can see the king, who is the king of Jagannath Puri. That particular place we see means actually this is part of Chaitanya Charitamrit, the Leela where they are performing the Rath Yatra, and we see the king himself is personally, he since he's a great devotee of Lord Jagannath, he is personally cleaning the way of Lord Jagannath. So the even though he's a king, he is very humble because he is a devotee, and he is serving, and he is surrendered unto the Supreme Lord, and he is serving the Supreme Lord uh, with full opulence. So that's how we see even all types of people can surrender unto the Supreme Lord, and by his grace they can attain the transcendental peace, supreme and the uh, supreme and the eternal abode. Now if you remember long back in the ninth chapter, the 34th verse, that was the last sloka of the chapter, we had seen one sloka, manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru Mamai Vaishasi Yuktvavam Atmanam Matparayana. So that time I mentioned this specifically, that this shloka will come again in the 18th chapter. So therefore we see now also we see this shloka. Okay, let me read this shloka. Manmanama madbhakto madhyaji mam namashkuru mamai vaishasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me. Someone please read the translation.
Prabhuji, I am reading. Always think of me and become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus, you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend.
So even in the ninth chapter, similar shloka we had seen. So we can understand the how much importance is this shloka. So what does Lord Krishna say? That always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage to me. Now see, a person will be like, okay, uh, first let us say Krishna is saying, always think of me. A person is like, no, 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 no. I can think of anything else, but not you, because constantly thinking about Lord Krishna is not that easy of a job, because you cannot control your mind. Okay, then you can say, become my devotee. Nah, I can become anybody's devotee, but not your devotee, because if I become your devotee, there are too many rules and regulations to be followed. No, no, that much I can't do. Then okay, Lord Krishna is saying, okay, simply worship me. Like, no, 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 that much I don't have time. I am so much busy in my work, and uh, people make excuses. Then okay, Lord Krishna says, okay, then once in a while offer your homage to me, do some like just come have darshan, at least once in a week or something, and at least chant some mantras, and chant my name, sometimes. They're like, okay, okay, that's fine, that much I can do. Okay, so one who starts offering homage to the Lord, soon by the mercy of Lord, he starts worshipping the Supreme Lord. Once the person starts worshipping the Lord, eh, that person can become a devotee of the Supreme Lord. And once the person becomes a devotee of the Lord, the soul will always remember the Supreme Lord, and that's how you will attain the perfect stage of perfection, where you'll be, and then you will be able to attain the eternal abode of the Supreme, that is the Goloka planets. Okay, so that's how we see this is the process, by step process, which Lord Krishna is explaining to us. And this shloka, as we see, is repeated twice in Bhagavad Gita. So therefore, it is of very much importance. Now let us see this shloka. Though this is not the last shloka said by Lord Krishna, but this is probably the last instruction given by Lord Krishna in this chapter in the Bhagavad Gita. So let us read this shloka. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma sucha. Everybody, someone please read the translation.
Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender to me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So if possible, then try to memorize the shloka also. This shloka is very, 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 very important, because, like, we say that, uh, just like, after having a discussion, people, uh, give their final instruction in very, after having a long discussion, we see, when the discussion is about to come to an end, people usually give their final instruction, and that final instruction is to be taken very, very seriously. So therefore, this is probably the last instruction given by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. And let us see what does this sloka say. Abandon all varieties of religion. Abandon all this, all types of culture, whether it's Western culture, all, all, trying to do karma yoga, jnana yoga. Abandon all everything. Just, uh, just leave all of it and simply surrender unto Lord Krishna. Okay. Mam ekam sharanam vraja. Just surrender unto the Lord Krishna. And what is the promise, and what is the thing which Lord Krishna is giving us in return? He's saying that I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Just by surrendering unto Lord Krishna, Lord Krishna will deliver you from all types of sinful reaction. And what does he gives some assurance, that is masucha, that is do not fear of anything, because once you come under my surrender, once you come under my shelter, which Lord Krishna is saying, once you come under Krishna's protection, once you come under Krishna's surrender and his shelter, there is nothing that you have to fear about. Because there is one saying that, uh, if you kneel down in front of the Lord, if you kneel down in front of God will stand for you. And once God starts standing for you, there's nothing, no power in the entire world that can stand against you. Because once Lord Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is with you, there's nothing that can defeat you in this entire world. Therefore, Krishna is saying, just surrender unto the Supreme Lord, and He will deliver you from all sinful reactions, and you should not be fearful of anything afterwards. Okay, now let us continue. Okay, idam te na ta paskaya na bhaktaya kadachana na cha shushu save vachyam na cha mam yo suyati. Because he is the Supreme Lord, there's nothing above him or equal him. Envious, faithless, and those without understanding Krishna from authority of Supreme. Okay. Okay. So what does what does Lord Srila Prabhupada say in the purport is that Krishna, Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and there is nothing above or equal of him. And those who are envious and do not have any faith in Lord Krishna should not comment on the about Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Yes. अध्यक्ष्यते च य इमं धर्म्यं संवादम् आवयो ज्ञानयज्ञेन तेनाहम् इष्टश्याम इति मे मति and I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation worships me by his intelligence. Okay, so therefore, what does Lord Krishna say? That if you study this Bhagavad Gita, now he's giving us the result. That what is the result of studying Bhagavad Gita? That way, one who studies this Bhagavad Gita and the sacred conversation will worship Lord Krishna by his intelligence. Okay. Okay. Now, okay, let us see. Shraddhavan anushruyascha shunayadapi yo nara sopi mukta shubhan lokan prapnuyat punya karmana. And one who listens with faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attains to the planets where the pious dwell. Okay. So therefore, this message of Bhagavad Gita, anyone who listens to this with faith will become free from all types of sinful reactions. Okay. Now see, Krishna at the end says that do as whatever you desire. Okay, after giving so much instructions, he's saying he's giving choice that if you want to fight the war, then fight the war. If you don't want to fight, then it's fine. Okay, so therefore, what does Krishna say is that okay, it's your desire. Okay, to fight the war or not. Now Arjuna is giving his thing that what after the understanding the message of Bhagavad Gita, what does he say? Let us understand. Arjuna uvacha nashtamoha smritirlabdha tatprasadan mayachyuta sthitosi me gata sande karishye vachanam tava. Someone please read the translation.
Prabhuji, can I?
Yes.
Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy, and I am now firm and free from doubt, and am prepared to act according to your instruction.
Okay. So now what does Arjuna say is that Nashta Moha means my all illusion is gone now. Smritir Labdha, I have regained my memory. Tat prasadan mayachita, that it's all because of your graceful mercy that sthitosi me gata sandeh. Now I am firm and have come back. I have regained my state without any gata sandeh, means without any doubt. Okay, I'm free from doubt. Karishye vachanam tava, that now I will act according to your instructions. Okay. Okay. Now let us say what is Arjuna's realization? That finally, after the 45 minutes of conversation between Lord Krishna and Arjuna, we see that Arjuna finally decides to fight. So this all 18 chapters was only a discussion of 45 minutes. Okay, but we see that even that this 45 minutes discussion is so much knowledgeable, so much informative that people take years to understand the meaning of this entire thing. Okay, now now this is the last shloka. I would like everybody to unmute their mics and we all can recite this shloka together. Okay, just a minute. Okay, so everybody please unmute your mics and let us read this last shloka of the chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, 3, 2, 1, start. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara Tatra Shri Vijayor Dhruva Nitirmatirmama. Okay, do one thing. I will read the shloka once, and after that, you all can repeat after. Okay, I'll read one line. You repeat after. Okay. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara Tatra Shri Vijayor Dhruva Nitirmatirmama. Hare Krishna. So, let us, this is the last sloka of Bhagavad Gita, and it is said by Sanjaya. He is now explaining, giving his realization, that how, what is his realization after hearing this beautiful conversation. Okay, so what does Sanjaya say? Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will be certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion. That means that is Sanjaya's opinion. So wherever there is Yogeshwara, means master of all mystics, Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara, wherever Arjuna, the supreme master, Tatra Shri Vijayor Bhutir. Shri means opulence, Vijayo means victory, and Bhutir means extraordinary power. That is what Sanjaya's opinion, that if Krishna is on your side, you will always win in life. So that is what is the lesson we get from this chapter, that wherever there is Krishna and wherever there is Arjuna or his devotees, victory is certain. Okay, so that's what he's explaining to Dhritarashtra, that now since Lord Krishna is there on the side of Pandavas, there can be no chance that you are going to win this war. Okay, so that's what he's saying to Dhritarashtra as well. And before these slokas, which are not there in the slide, Sanjaya says that this he gets so much of realizations from this chapter, from these conversation. So takeaway message from Bhagavad Gita is, we are spirit soul, Krishna is the supreme lord, and devotional service is the best process to attain perfection. So with this, we complete the chapter. We complete the entire course of Bhagavad Gita. Everybody, let us once chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra together. Okay, please unmute your mics. Okay, and let us chant it together. 3, 2, 1, start. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So I hope you enjoyed the class. In case there is any mistake done by me, or any slightest of mistakes or anything that I have done which has hurted you or something, please pardon me, please accept me, and thank you all of you for paying attention, listening to this entire course of Bhagavad Gita. I have tried my best to explain you. In case there is any offense or anything that I have done to me, please pardon me, please forgive me. And with this, let us take Krishna's blessings that we have successfully completed this course of Bhagavad Gita. Next week we'll be conducting the quiz for chapters 13 to 18, and so let us so prepare yourself for it, and wish you good luck for your after that. uh, After you attend the all three quizzes, we'll get to know that if you have attended all three quizzes, you will be promoted to level 3. You will be promoted to level 3. And if you are choosing the language English, I think most probably Purnima Mataji will be taking your level 3 classes, and that will be based on Krishna book. Okay, so everybody, thank you so much for listening patiently and attentively. I'm sharing the attendance link right now. Please fill the form, and in case you have any doubts or anything to share, uh, please tell me. Okay, so with this, we are concluding with this entire course of Bhagavad Gita. I'll be sharing the PPTs as well as the video recordings for all these chapters. So in case you have missed any classes, or in case you are confused in anything, you may please go through the recording or the PPT. Okay, it's recommended. See, if in case you don't understand anything, then you can go ahead with the video recording. Otherwise, you can surely refer to the PPTs. And if you once you in case you have any doubts, anything, even after this level 2 course, if you have anything to ask or say, you can surely contact me. Okay. I have my my contact is there on the group. Okay. No, it's written level 2 and level 3, both links. So it's common link for attendance. Okay. So don't worry, it's level 2 link only. So uh, in case you have any doubts or anything, any queries or anything, please feel to contact me. And my contact is there on the